Hello Fantasy Faithfuls, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of CSD Head-2-Head. Today we're looking at AJ Green versus Tyreek Hill. Both Green and Hill are ranked as the number 1 wide receiver on their respective teams, and Green is currently drafted as the 7th wide receiver, while Hill is the 10th. Starting off, we're breaking down the receiving of AJ Green. His receiving patterns show a receiver that loves going deep, with over 30% of all of his targets going to the 3 deep zones. He sees most of his targets to the short right. There is a disparity between the right and left side of the field, but nothing too notable. Green's catch rate in the deep outside zones is somewhat of a concern, since 26% of all of his targets comes to those zones. He makes up for it by having extremely high rates in the deep middle and short right, but it will still hurt him over the course of a season. His touchdown rate over the last 3 years is 5.9, which is 0.6 above the league average. The yards per receptions are average or above, with not a single zone being bad. He's above average in the deep right and short middle, which suits him well, especially the deep right, with 14% of all of his targets coming there. He will rack up yards and touchdowns above league average for sure.
Dalton throws, AJ Green at the 50, Green off to the races, Green still going, AJ Green at the 5, touchdown Cincinnati!
Breaking down the receiving of Tyreek Hill, we see that he has one of the most evenly distributed receiving patterns in the entire league. Almost the exact same amount of targets to the left side of the field as to the right. The conclusion we can draw from these numbers, though, is that he's rarely targeted over the middle. His catch rate in the deep right is fantastic, and the ball should be thrown more to that side of the field than to the left if you follow the numbers. His short zone catch rate is amazing, way above my 60% baseline that I look for, and way above league average everywhere. His touchdown rate since entering the league has been 7.6%, which is out of this world. Let the praise continue with a look at his incredible yards per catch in the deep zones, above 40 yards everywhere, which is too good to be true. He does, however, struggle in racking up yards when he catches shorter passes, being below league average in all 3 short zones.
Time of possession has been dominant in favor of the Jets. Smith, pocket holds up, deep ball, separation, Tyreek Hill! Goodbye, Hill! Touchdown, Kansas City!
In the usability comparison, I compare how many weeks they should have been started last year. We see that Green had 5 weeks where he ranked as wide receiver number 1, while Tyreek Hill had 6 weeks. Green wins the amount of wide receiver 2 weeks with 2 against 1, but Hill comes back with 1 more wide receiver 3 week than Green. Green's best time of the year is during the fall, with 60% of his yards coming from September and October. Hill is a monster during December, where he averages 18 yards per completion compared to 11 during the rest of the season. Now let's look at how they perform in different situations. Green has a very even home and away split with a small edge to away games. Hill, on the other hand, is way better on the road than at Arrowhead. Again here, Green does not show a big disparity, but he's slightly better against AFC teams, while Hill is also better against the AFC, but much better than against the NFC. To finish out, Green is just a little bit better against teams with a winning record, but nothing too major, and this time it's the same for Hill. Green's best situation is playing on the road versus an above 500 record team from the AFC, while Hill's best situation is playing on the road versus an above 500 record AFC team. Comparing their numbers, Green has had a higher standard deviation than Hill, meaning that his scoring has had a higher variance going up and down more. Green has a one-game ceiling of 18.5 and Hill 16. Green takes the last round with a one-game floor of 3.5 against Hill's 3.2. My pick after comparing receiving, usability, situational play, and numbers is AJ Green, with the deciding factor being the change of quarterback in Kansas City. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more weekly content. And as always, the spreadsheets are dark and full of terror.